Okay, so this is just a test run of a shader just to see what we could do with shaders. So this is an outline around a square box and some hexagons to give you an idea as to what that looks like by itself. These are the shapes. They're just generic shapes, nothing really all that crazy. I have a box, so what I've done is I've used this shader to create an alpha channel that blocks out the emission that's being created, right? So it looks like this, right? So I'm also using a glow within the composition or glare. Some issues with that. The more glare you have, the more it has to process behind the scenes. So if I take this down just a little bit and then go back to my shading, this looks a little bit more duller. However, it's a lot better on the processing power of the computer. So just some things to take into consideration. I've also join left. So I've also added in some different kinds of things. There's these values that have this hashtag frame, and this allows the system, when you push play, to just run continually from 0 to I think it's like 250 is the default, right? So it just continually runs over and over and over and over and over. I've divided it by 2000, and the reason why is because if you don't, it's going to be faster. So if I do like 500, you'll notice that now it's a bit faster here on this one up at the top, right? So that's something to take into consideration. One of some of the nicer things with this kind of setup, where you have the texture coordinates, right? It's set to the Y coordinate, but technically I could change this to the X coordinate or the Z coordinate, right? So if I 0 here and then type in 1 here, now it's going top to bottom, right? So that's some interesting stuff. This is not an outline. This is actually like a volume shader that's just basically using the noise texture. You're stretching the noise texture so much that it's creating this kind of effect, right? So if I change these to 1, you'll notice here I'm getting more of like a sparkly kind of noise, right? And that's because this is a random generator. So if I change this to 1, you're not going to see it, right? You can barely see it here in these little outlines, these edges. If I increase my number, you're going to see more and more of them, right? So if I change this back to 0 and 0, now you're getting scan lines that are just one direction, right? So I need to change my scale. The bigger the scale, the more lines you see. And then I also have a noise texture down here. This is to kind of give the noise some variation, or these lines that it's creating, these square boxes, some room to grow, right? So if I take this off in a second, you'll notice that once it decides to catch up with us, you'll notice that it's a little bit less variation. So that's the reason why I added that in, was just so that you get a little bit more sparkly glow. I thought that was interesting. You can change the colors, of course. Right now I have this kind of raspberry color, but we could change it to like green pretty quickly, right? We could change this one to more of like a yellowish green, like that, or even more yellow, right? And so now it's playing with the two colors. It's not as green as yellow, but as I bring this shader or this color closer to the left, it will change the color. It'll be a little bit more sharper. So if I bring this color closer to the right and this one closer to the right, there's more of a mix between the two colors, right? Or there's a cut. You can visibly see the difference between the yellow and the green, basically. I could increase the strength, right? So that there's more glow to them. You'll also notice that the shader is not it's not glowing like crazy, and the reason for that is exactly this. This is the glare, and so if I increase my glare, now you'll really see in the shader tab, they glow a lot more, right? But you will run into processing issues with this because it's too much. But in any case, this is something I've just been tinkering with. I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea. I'm not going to go crazy amounts into this. Just take a screen capture of this and, you know, tinker with it. So I'm using a texture coordinate mapping noise texture with a value that's being divided into 500 to make it the speed of the W, which is a 4D. 4D will allow you to have this W value, which is just basically what I'm scaling it by. So if I stop this, you'll see this is what it shows, right? This is what it looks like without the speed, right, or without the animation going through. It's just lines. And this is visually interesting as well, but what I'm using this for is projection mapping. If I were to do projection mapping and I wanted to give things like a unique like look, I started thinking this could be interesting visually, right? So in any case, then I have this color ramp that's basically taking the noise texture, the lines that are being created. I can increase the line size, right, the line width, which will, you know, overall increase the amount, right? At that point, what I'd probably do is take this down, right, and then we'll go back to the shading, and it still sticks out a little too much like a sore thumb, so I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. So that's to play around with that. I have it set up to a principled BSDF, and the reason being is because I wanted that alpha channel. I know that there was a way to do this without the alpha channel. You could use a transparent BSDF and an emission BSDF, but I have not yet figured out how that's done in 4.3. So instead, you know, I'm using what I understand as to how I could get that to work, which is using the alpha channel with the principled BSDF. You could probably use some other BSDF that has an alpha channel. If I had to guess, there's probably like there's the principled BSDF, and I'd be willing to bet there's a even simpler shader in here. However, that's how this was created. I'm not gonna go into that just yet. So then we get the colored noise texture that's being fed into a color ramp so that I can change my colors, right? And then that's being fed into the emission, right? And the emission is what's changing those colors. It's also got this value, right? I could technically just take a W, and I could delete the driver here and then create a driver here. We could go hashtag frame, FRAME, and there's the value, and it should be counting up. For whatever reason it's not. I think it's because maybe RAME, for whatever reason it's not doing it. In any case, I would put that into the W, and that would basically start counting like the others are counting. I'm not sure why that's not working. Hashtag FRAME. In any case, I will put that in the comments as to why that's not working. I'm sure one of you out there knows the reason why. Jacob, it's so easy, you're not doing X, Y, or Z. Maybe because it needs to be hashtag capital all caps. No, maybe it needs to be all lowercase. Nope. So I'm not sure why that's not working here. It should be. In any case, that's how this was created. Hope you guys found this interesting, informative, watching me tinker with how this all works. Thanks for your interest in what it is that I do, and I will see you guys next time.